Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping.
What you were just talking about in regards to sometimes you feel like you're the one responsible to step up, right? And and really that's what happened. So this is a long story as short as I can make it. It's an HOA issue in our neighborhood. The president, vice president moved out of the neighborhood. We got a new president.
Politics.
Right. And so they came in and it's been in a little bit of a disarray. Well, a gentleman moved in. He didn't even know there was an association. The realtor didn't do their job, right? And so he parked his ice house, built a platform and parked his ice house fishing module in the front of his house. And we're not allowed to do that in our association. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they're giving him grief. He's trying to argue that the association isn't real because he didn't know about it. And he's bantering at these people. I mean, he's really hitting them hard, Dan, like in front of everybody on our Facebook community page. And then now they called for this. He called for a special vote to reelect officials for the deal, which he's allowed to do apparently. Yeah. And then he starts quoting bylaws. Like, I only got a 4-day notice instead of a 5-day notice of when the meeting occurred. And now I shouldn't have to pay my dues. It's this big thing, right? Here's my point. I listened to it for months. I saw it, didn't say a word. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. And his house is tucked back in the corner. I don't really care about him. And we have other issues in the neighborhood.
And you're like, who gives a shit about the dude's fish house? Like,
right. And there's other people in the neighborhood that like aren't abiding by rules and they're not doing anything to them. So I just kind of looked at it like the HOA doesn't really matter.
Did you have to approve when I came and caulked your garage door trim?
No, nobody touches me. But I mean,
you would think like somebody changing the facial appearance of your house, you would need to get that approved.
Yeah, once it was all said and done, it looked the same as it did before, but better, right? Like when you make improvements and it looks better, that's okay.
Good. I never did follow up with you.
All right, it turned out fantastic. It's awesome. But nevertheless, before I get off my track here, so again, this meeting is tonight at 6:30. This vote for the HOA, and last night this guy just went off. I mean, he was beating up the president, the vice, and these people have only been professional back to him. By the way, they don't get paid for this. This is voluntary, right? Like they're just trying to help and keep people's home values high and this and that. And I get where the guy, if you didn't know there was association, I understand his side too. But he got to a point where he was berating and bullying these people so bad that I was like, I can't not do it. And so I just get involved and I start saying, he's like, I didn't have a 5-day notice and heard this legal And I was like, well, you're wrong because of this. And then he said something else. You're wrong because of this. And I kind of started calling him out and tried to take some of that on me because I was so fed up. And this guy's been going for 3 months. I hadn't said a word. But last night I just kind of was like, no, and I didn't snap. I didn't get mad, but like I kind of put him in his place. Right. So my wife at the end of it goes, I saw you got into it on Facebook. And I was like, well, wasn't I respectful? She goes, well, you were, but you always stay out of that stuff. And I was like, I know, but I can't help it when I feel like no one else is going to stand up to someone being irresponsible or stupid or ignorant or a bully. Yeah. Like that's the one time I can't not do it. If they got a bunch of hotheads arguing about who the GOAT of, basketball is, it's Michael Jordan, by the way, but whoever the GOAT is, Michael, I'm not going to get involved. Like, it's not my thing, but like, this was somebody bullying someone else who wasn't or couldn't or didn't want to stand up for themselves. And it just goes back to what you were saying before we went to commercial break, which is like, I didn't want to get involved. I still don't want to get involved. I'm going tonight to vote. Now I've got people sending me messages like, hey, you should think about being on the board. And I was like, not in a million fucking years would I do this. You people are all off your shit rocker. But at the end of the day, it created all of this. And there's just message after message after message. And people are liking messages and not liking messages. You know what I realized after it was all said and done? There's a couple people that back this guy and they just want to do whatever the hell they want to do and don't want to be governed by an HOA. Then you got all your old school cronies or like my wife and I who want some people to be held accountable because our place looks pristine, right? And that's what we care about. That's why we joined a place that had a homeowners association. So there was some rules and regulations to help keep things in line. And the one thing I realized is after all this, all the people that thought what he thought when we went into this conversation still feel that way. All the people that thought what they thought after this conversation still feel that. Nobody had their fucking mind
probably
changed.
More strongly. Yeah, it just
right. All we did was waste a bunch of fucking time.
Really good point.
I'm not going to change a moron's mentality, and he's surely not going to change my mentality. And so it's kind of like
you're the moron to him.
What was it all for?
You're the moron to him. You're the moron to him.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's it. That's exactly what's happening with this country right now. Same thing.
Yep.
You can't. You're not going to change anybody. You're never going to prove to me that I'm an idiot or an asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, home service heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our home service happy hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.